We're counting down the top 10 most controversial greedy deal showdowns between Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary on Shark Tank. From suspicious valuations and eye-watering royalties, to full-blown takeover bids and game-changing founder outcomes, these flashpoints reveal just how high the stakes can get when investor philosophies collide. Which clash exposed the costliest mistake? And which left millions on the table? Let's dive in, starting with number 10.
Tipsy Elves, a company that specializes in ugly Christmas sweaters, has established a successful business empire worth $125 billion. The brand was founded 12 years ago by a dentist and a lawyer who left their lucrative careers to pursue their passion for creating unique and quirky clothing. Since its inception, Tipsy Elves has grown tremendously, and its popularity has soared thanks to its distinctive designs and clever marketing strategies.
Tipsy Elves hit the tank with ugly Christmas sweaters and a bold $100,000 ask for just 5% equity. Kevin O'Leary zeroed in on price, calling the founder's valuation absurd and pushing for a royalty-heavy deal. Mark Cuban, never shy about calling out what he saw as founder-unfriendly math, scoffed at the numbers but held back from making an offer. The on-air clip caught both sharks sparring over what the business was really worth, but neither could agree on terms. Robert Herjavec, watching the fireworks, quietly offered $100,000 for 10% equity. No royalties, no hidden strings. The founders took the clean deal. Within a year, Tipsy Elves topped $6 million in sales. And by 2022, the brand had passed $100 million in lifetime revenue. Sometimes, all the drama over price misses the real story. Simple equity in the right hands can fuel a holiday juggernaut. HiccAway's pitch brought a new kind of tension to the tank, the cash drain of per-unit royalties. Kevin O'Leary put $250,000 on the table, but only if he could take a royalty from every device sold, plus a 5% equity slice. Mark Cuban pushed back, warning that a royalty on each sale carves straight into a founder's margins. The founders, caught between offers, ran the math on air. For a consumer product with a gross margin hovering just above 30%, a royalty like O'Leary's could eat up nearly 18% of every dollar before covering any other costs. In a 2022 interview, the HiccAway team admitted that royalty outflows made scaling tougher than they'd planned. The cash that should have fueled production and marketing instead trickled out with every unit shipped. O'Leary defended his model as investor insurance, but for founders, the lesson was clear. A royalty may sound safe, but it can quietly bleed a business dry. The painted pretzel pitch brought a new energy to the tank. Raven Thomas entered asking for $100,000 in exchange for 20% of her gourmet chocolate pretzel business. Kevin O'Leary wasted no time questioning how defensible the product could be, calling it easily duplicated and pushing for more equity and possible future options.
My name is Raven Thomas, and my company is The Painted Pretzel. I'm seeking $100,000 in exchange for 25% of equity. I started The Painted Pretzel almost 3.5 years ago after leaving a career that I love to become a stay-at-home mom. People love them so much, they suggested that I sell them. I could keep describing them, but how about you just try them, and I think you'll...
Mark Cuban, on the other hand, saw something different. He challenged O'Leary's skepticism directly, arguing that the right partner could open doors that no royalty or extra equity could buy. Cuban's approach was about operational muscle. He pointed to his own track record getting products into major retailers. Lori Greiner stepped in with a straightforward offer: $100,000 for 25% equity, no royalties, no contingencies. Raven accepted. Within months, the Painted Pretzel landed national distribution with Sam's Club, a leap that would have been nearly impossible without a shark's connections. In a 2016 interview, Raven credited her shark partner for changing her business overnight. For founders watching at home, the lesson was clear. Sometimes the right equity partner isn't just about the money. They can be a shortcut to scale. The debate over royalties faded into the background as the real value came from mentorship and doors opened in retail. Lulu Bang's founders stepped onto the Shark Tank stage asking for $150,000 in exchange for 10% of their barbecue sauce business. The Sharks listened, but one by one, each declined. Kevin O'Leary dismissed the brand's chances, calling the market too crowded. Mark Cuban, never one to hold back, fired back at O'Leary's negativity. But even he passed on the deal. No offers came.
I'm Dre. And I'm Kelly. And we're sisters from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
You know why it's gonna be really good?
Because you made it.
Because I
Tell you the truth. We've cooked all our lives. We love to cook. My mom was the best cook ever. We would go to church on Sundays, come home, and she would tear the kitchen up. So it's very important that we continue the tradition.
Yet the real story began after the cameras stopped rolling. Instead of folding, Lulu Bang's founders turned their TV appearance into a marketing engine. With no investor strings or equity lost, they went straight to buyers and used the Shark Tank spotlight to open doors. Within a year, Lulu Bang barbecue sauces landed on the shelves of Walmart and ShopRite, an outcome that many funded brands still chase. Sales surged, and the founders credited their growth to the exposure, not a shark's check. For founders, Lulu Bang's story is a lesson in turning rejection into leverage. Sometimes the best deal is no deal at all, especially when national TV can do more for your brand than a royalty or a heavy equity bite ever could. ProntoBev's pitch promised wine chilled in just 30 seconds, and the sharks took notice. Mark Cuban stepped in with an offer, $100,000, but for a hefty 25% equity, 5 times what the founder had asked. The deal was accepted on air, but celebration quickly turned to scrutiny once the cameras stopped rolling. Behind the scenes, due diligence exposed cracks. The founder later revealed in a 2020 podcast that the deal never closed.
Called ProntoBev, Alexander Simone is seeking $100,000 from the Sharks in exchange for 5% equity in his startup, Pronto Concepts.
Cuban's equity demand, though not the most extreme in Shark Tank history, set off a chain reaction. The high stake made it hard for ProntoBev to attract later investors. The company struggled to deliver its product at scale, and the promised partnership fizzled out before any money changed hands. In the end, ProntoBev's experience became a cautionary tale. Headline deals can vanish in the fine print, and a big equity bite can scare off the very support a young brand needs to grow. For founders, the lesson is clear. A handshake on stage is only the beginning. When equity demands jump overnight, the real due diligence starts after the pitch. Even a deal that looks reasonable in the tank can quietly collapse, leaving a business stranded with no capital and no path forward.
I'm from Cabot, Arkansas, and I'm the creator of HyConn. I work full-time as a captain of the fire brigade and a maintenance supervisor.
Come on, let's go, let's go!
One day I was operating the truck and I realized that it was taking way too long to provide water to the fire scene. And after that, I decided I needed to come up with some way.
HyConn's pitch stands out as one of the most aggressive buyout offers ever aired on Shark Tank. Jeff Stroop, a firefighter and inventor, walked in asking for $500,000 in exchange for 40% equity in his Quick Connect fire hose business. Mark Cuban stunned the panel by countering with a $1.25 million offer, but only if he could take 100% ownership plus a 3-year $100,000 salary for Stroop and a 7% royalty on any future products. Kevin O'Leary called the move madness, warning that handing over total control means the founder's vision disappears the moment the ink dries. On air, Stroop hesitated but ultimately accepted Cuban's terms. The deal, however, collapsed before any money changed hands. In a 2013 blog post, Stroop revealed that negotiations broke down after taping. Cuban's team pressed for full control, and the founder realized he'd be left with nothing but a job and a royalty that depended on someone else's effort. No equity, no say, and no guarantee his product would ever see the market. The HyConn episode became a cautionary tale. A big check can come with an even bigger catch. For founders, surrendering 100% ownership means betting everything on someone else's priorities. Even a $1 million headline can end with the founder on the outside looking in, and the business drifting far from its original mission. GrooveBook's founders, Brian and Julie Whiteman, brought a digital photo subscription pitch to the tank with a simple ask: $150,000 for 20% equity. The offer that landed was anything but simple. Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary teamed up, but not for equity.
In episode 515 of Shark Tank, Julie and Brian Whiteman presented their innovative photo book app, GrooveBook, which took the judges by storm. With the aim of enabling people to effortlessly compile their smartphone photos into a photo book, the app was an instant hit.
Instead, they structured a deal for 80% of GrooveBook's licensing rights, $150,000 up front in exchange for the power to license the technology to other companies. The Whitemans kept full control of their core business, but handed over the vast majority of potential licensing upside to the Sharks. On air, the mechanics raised eyebrows. O'Leary called it a way to scale without risk, while Cuban focused on the deal's speed and reach. The founders weighed the cost, a heavy licensing bite, but no loss of voting control. For founders watching, the trade-off was clear. Big rights given up could mean a much smaller share of future expansion, but it might also open doors that would otherwise stay shut. Within a year, GrooveBook's gamble paid off. Shutterfly acquired the company for $14.5 million, making it the first Shark Tank business to be bought by a publicly traded tech giant. The Whitemans credited O'Leary's discipline and the licensing structure for prepping them for a fast, clean exit. But in later interviews, they also described the headaches of managing a cap table with so much licensing revenue flowing to investors. The GrooveBook deal stands as a textbook example. Sometimes a greedy structure can drive a blockbuster exit. But founders must weigh the long-term cost of giving up future rights for a quick win. Wicked Good Cupcakes, a mother-daughter bakery from Massachusetts, stepped onto the tank with a simple request: $75,000 for 20% of their cupcake-in-a-jar business.
And this is my daughter, Danielle. We're from Cohasset, Massachusetts.
And our company is Wicked Good Cupcakes. We're from Boston, and everything's wicked piss, I hear.
Our cupcakes are baked fresh daily from scratch. No boxes or mixes are ever used.
I am head baker, and she is head decorator.
Do you need help with anything? Danielle and I have always been very close. We make all our decisions together.
No, we don't.
Kevin O'Leary countered with a structure that would become notorious: $75,000 for a $1 royalty on every cupcake sold until he recouped his money, and then 45 cents per cupcake forever. The founders, eager for a deal, accepted. On air, O'Leary pitched the royalty as a win-win. Guaranteed payback for him, unlimited upside for the business. But Mark Cuban and Lori Greiner pressed the math. What happens when every sale for years sends cash out the door? The mechanics are relentless. After the initial $75,000 is paid back, the perpetual royalty never disappears. Sell 100,000 cupcakes a year, and that's $45,000 siphoned off annually, every year, no matter how large the business grows. Over 5 years, that's $225,000. Triple the original investment with no end in sight. For a fast-scaling food company, the cumulative drain can dwarf what a typical equity stake would ever cost. New investors eyeing the cap table see a permanent claim on revenue, a red flag that can complicate future fundraising. In a 2019 interview, co-founder Tracy Noonan explained, "Kevin's royalty felt safe at first, but it's a constant outflow. Fundraising later was tough. Every investor asked about the cap table." Despite the cash drain, the business flourished, topping $15 million in sales before being acquired by Hickory Farms in 2021. O'Leary's royalty paid him more than $1 million, but for the founders, the lesson was clear. A perpetual royalty is an open tap. The true cost isn't just what you pay today, it's what you pay for as long as you own the business. Zipz Wine arrived on Shark Tank with a pitch that would set a new record for the show.
When McMurray appeared on the 11th episode of Shark Tank's 6th season in 2014. Sold in a plastic package shaped like a wine glass with patented shrink wrap that helps shield the wine from UV rays, McMurray asked for
Andrew McMurray, the founder, asked for $2.5 million in exchange for 10% equity, a valuation that left the Sharks momentarily stunned. Kevin O'Leary saw not just a product, but a chance to write his name into Shark Tank history. He agreed to the full ask. $2.5 million for 10%, But with a powerful addition, he would claim a seat on the board. The magnitude of the investment alone raised eyebrows, but the real leverage came from that board seat. For McMurray, accepting meant opening the door to a flood of capital, but also ceding a measure of control to an investor known for steering hard. O'Leary's signature was more than a check. It was a signal to the industry that Zipz had heavyweight backing. Within a year, Zipz partnered with Fetzer Vineyards, landing national rollout in Kroger and Safeway stores. The infusion of capital fueled rapid growth, but the board dynamic changed overnight. O'Leary's influence extended beyond financial oversight. Every major decision now required his approval. In public interviews, McMurray acknowledged that the partnership brought access to new networks, but also new layers of negotiation and oversight. For founders, the Zipz deal is a textbook case in the trade-offs of mega capital. The $2.5 million headline may grab the spotlight, but the real cost is measured in boardroom influence and founder autonomy. When the money is this big, the strings are never invisible. O'Leary's approach proved that sometimes the most greedy deal isn't just about equity or royalties. It's about who holds the keys to the company's future. 1031 Productions stormed into Shark Tank with a pitch that would ignite the fiercest clash of the series.
Melissa Carbone from Los Angeles. My company is 1031 Productions, and I'm seeking $2 million in exchange for 10% of my company.
Ooh. Wow.
1031 Productions is an entertainment company that creates, owns, and produces live attractions in the horror space. Our most popular attraction is the Los Angeles Haunted Hayride.
Melissa Carbone, founder of the live horror entertainment company, asked for $2 million in exchange for 10% equity, a number that stunned the panel. Kevin O'Leary wasted no time, offering the full $2 million, but with a catch: a perpetual royalty on every ticket sold. On air, O'Leary insisted, "I want to get paid forever. Every single ticket, I get a piece." Mark Cuban shot back instantly, calling the demand vampiric. He argued that a royalty with no endpoint is a drain that never stops, siphoning off cash that should be fueling growth. The debate on set was electric. Cuban pressed Carbone to imagine what it would mean to hand over a piece of every sale year after year, even as the business scaled. O'Leary countered that his structure guaranteed an investor's return, no matter what happened with profits or future fundraising. The other sharks watched as the two philosophies collided: Cuban's focus on founder incentives and upside, O'Leary's on investor security and guaranteed cash flow. Carbone made her choice. She turned down O'Leary's royalty, accepting Cuban's counteroffer: $2 million for 20% equity, no royalties, no perpetual drain. At the time, it was the largest deal in Shark Tank history, a headline that rippled across business media. Cuban's approach gave 1031 Productions the capital to expand, but left the business free from the open tap of a royalty. The results spoke for themselves. Within a year, 1031 Productions sold a controlling stake to Live Nation for a reported $30 million, as confirmed by Variety. Cuban's $2 million investment turned into a massive win, and Carbone retained a meaningful stake in her company. The royalty that O'Leary wanted would have carved out millions in cash flow year after year, regardless of profit or reinvestment needs. Instead, the business was able to reinvest every dollar, scale its haunted hayrides, and attract a major buyer on founder-friendly terms. For founders and investors alike, the 1031 Showdown delivers the ultimate lesson. A perpetual royalty can be a silent vampire, draining a company's future. Equity, when paired with the right partner, keeps the business's heart beating strong. In the end, the most greedy deal isn't always the one with the highest number. It's the one that takes a bite out of every tomorrow. From the opening valuation skirmish at Tipsy Elves to the fierce royalty standoff in 1031 Productions, Our countdown traced 10 of Shark Tank's most heated Mark Cuban versus Kevin O'Leary negotiations. The most shocking entries, like Wicked Good Cupcakes' perpetual royalty drain, Zipz Wine's record-breaking $2.5 million check with governance strings, spotlight just how far the definition of greed can stretch on the show. Across all 10 entries, a clear pattern emerged. O'Leary often pushed for ongoing royalties or layered contingencies, while Cuban championed clean equity and founder control. The founders caught in the middle faced tough choices, and post-show outcomes proved that deal structure can shape a brand's destiny as much as the product itself. What made these moments qualify was the open clash between maximizing investor upside versus fueling founder growth. In the end, the greediest deals weren't always the most successful, reminding us that in the Shark Tank, how you negotiate can matter even more than what you negotiate for.